talk all day about the level of competition of this post-secondary is way up from the last few years. We are very impressed with what we saw today.
Yep.
The way you came in with a plan, the way you worked the plans that you had, the way you ran into trouble, stopped for a second, thought about it, went back into it, and didn't even slow you down. It was really a lot of fun to watch. So you should be very proud of what you did today. As a group, this was very impressive to see. And it wasn't just us who've been doing this forever. New judges were going, is it always like this? Because this is great. On a personal note, those of you who have been here in the past, this is world record cleanup speed, correct? This was amazing cleanup. And I want to give you guys give yourselves a hand. You deserve it for how well you worked today. Awesome. Normally we're here for another hour and a half fighting to get dishes done and station set up. This was really, really cool. Wonderful job. What we're going to do is kind of go down and I'm going to have some of the judges talk about general things. We're not going to do any specifics on specific plates, but we're going to talk about general things we saw today. What we saw that was good, bad, otherwise, things to work on, things to think about. So I'm just going to kind of run down the line here and let people talk about what they saw.
Okay. Well, I wasn't judging anything. I was a time person, and I did a couple of mistakes. I think I did okay, but I was really impressed with what I saw while I was walking through the kitchen. There were several things that caught my eye. Number one was the amount of tasting spoons used, which means you're tasting your food, which usually is something that we're like, pushing, please taste your food while you're cooking. And this year we didn't have to do that. Everybody was tasting the food. They were using the spoons up there. That was impressive to me because that's what cooking is all about. It's about tasting as you cook, developing flavors and making it happen. So I was really impressed with that. People's organization timelines I was very impressed with. Again, the chef said, we've been doing this for a lot of years and we've seen it slowly move up every year, but this year I think was the top that I've seen. It was really very, very impressive. People weren't scrambling and running. People were doing what they needed to do and getting their plates in, and I was really impressed with that. I did see a fair amount of people plating with their hands without gloves on. That was probably the one thing that caught my eye the most as far as the sanitation situation goes. Either use a utensil or put gloves on if you're plating food. It's not going to be cooked further than that. But overall, I was very pleased with what I saw. I saw a lot of good things, and it was really refreshing to see people tasting the food as much as they were. So that was great. That's key to creating good quality food. So thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
I'll go over a couple things real quick. I did safety, sanitation, mise en place, organization, stuff like that. I compete a lot. I have students who compete a lot, so I'm just going to touch base everything. The seasoning to me really blew me away. Everybody was seasoning everything, so not just the salt and pepper. They were grabbing other things. You know, that's a great positive, great thing to see. And the tasting, again, to go back on that, that's the thing people just forget about all the time. Make sure when you guys come in, your uniforms, almost everybody looks great today. Make sure little points like that can kill you. Make sure that you have the right shoes, the right uniform, it's pressed, it looks good when you come in. They had sanitizer buckets out there for you, and for a lot of people that just turned into like a mini sink at your station, okay? Try to keep that sanitizer bucket for your sanitizer. Bring a soap bucket with you so you don't have to run back and forth, and you can use that. Some of the sanitizer water started looking a little rough halfway through the day. Okay. There's a lot of people that used clear delis. I'm a big believer of that. Use the clear delis to keep yourself organized. Just make sure that when you do, they're not just thrown everywhere on your station. I always tell my students when competing, try to keep everything clean, right edges, straight, in good line, so it looks good when people walk by. When a judge walks by, they want to see all those nice, clean, crisp edges and lines. All right. On the poultry fab, there was only 3 or 4 people that when you pulled your chicken out and went to your station, you should always try to make sure you have an ice station with you. Have that chicken, have that protein sitting on ice while it's sitting in the station, you're getting set up and you're getting ready. All right. And if you're going to keep on competing, go out and buy some really good knives. If you're going to be in this profession for a while, buy yourself some good knives and a good set of plating spoons. Not just big metal spoons, a good set of plating spoons, slotted plating spoons, squared off plating spoons, so you have those. when you're trying to do that nice plate, you're not fighting with it. You're not trying to plate with the tasting. Okay? But I was really impressed. Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Dave. You took most of what I was going to talk about. The one thing in setting up your chef station when you're starting to cook and doing your chicken fabrication in a methodical way and then displaying your chicken in an anatomical layout so that we can see exactly how you cut that chicken apart. And then the judges always look for telltale signs that you didn't nick any bones, or, you know, and you got all the, I saw a lot of carcasses that were very clean. And so that was really good to see. Complete utilization of the entire chicken in a competition like this is really important. Many of you put most of your chicken back in the fridge and didn't use it. If I was competing in this competition, I would have used every single bit of that chicken. I would have browned off the bones to make a nice, flavorful short stock, because you don't have enough time to make a complete stock, but you can do a short stock. And so things like that, just from the foundational utilization of ingredients. I agree, seasoning was really good. I enjoyed seeing y'all taste your food, and I got to taste some of your food. If I saw something interesting, I wanted to taste it. And everything I tasted was very well seasoned and flavorful. I noticed a lot of people searing proteins in a pan that wasn't screaming hot, and I also saw a lot of people put wet proteins into a pan. If you're cooking beef, make sure you dry that beef off. If you take it out of a marinade, lay it on some paper towels and dry it off, because if you put wet meat into a pan, it's going to steam before it sears, all right? And so you're not going to achieve the brown, you know, the Maillard effect on that protein. Overall, I saw a lot of very organized work, very methodical. I loved seeing the well-developed plans. Saw a couple of y'all that had 3 different scenarios with photos and plate diagrams, and when you are able to come into a competition organized to that degree, then you're just going to perform a lot better. So congratulations to all of you. You did a great job.
Thank you. We're going to kind of catch up. We were more on the tasting end. And to reiterate what the chef said, when you guys are doing your short stocks and things like that, make sure that you crack the bones, right, so that marrow can come out. And what I mean by that, you can use the back of your knife, and on the thighs, on the legs, on the back, on the wing tips for sure, crack those open. And that's going to allow that marrow and more flavor to come out. Because although you did season, you know, when we're sitting in there tasting, you taste a lot of salt, you taste, you know, some of the base and things that typically use, but you didn't get that richness of flavor that you could get from utilizing the bones and not putting it all back in the walking, you know. And if a judge comes up to you, they're like, why did you put that whole chicken leg in the, you know, why did you chop it up and throw it in your try to put both up? You know, if I'm working, we obviously have another utilization. But for this particular purpose, I need to get all the flavor that I can in a very short amount of time. And they're not going to take your points, you know, if you explain what's going on. And in the end, when we're tasting it, we're going to be able to taste that richness that comes from the natural stock. And that's going to, you know, when it comes down to little bitty points, that's what's going to put you guys over the top. Again, I would like to see a little more urgency in the beginning, because we saw it at the end when we were sitting in there and everybody, you know, was doing the like race walk over there. So if you guys start out with that sense of urgency, give yourself that much more relaxation and time to play. You know, double check your seasoning. You know, everybody was seasoning throughout, but did you over season? Is something just kind of, is it not balanced? You know, you've got that to where you have your sweet, you got your salt, but they have to play off each other, because when you're tasting, you know, and you have something that's real sweet, it makes something taste real sweet. You know, they all need to come together, and that was kind of, when you look at just a large scale of when you were tasting, there wasn't a lot of balance. You could taste the salt, you could taste the sweet, you could taste the pepper. But sometimes they didn't all work together. So it's important that as you guys are putting together your components and your plates, you know, taste that, look for the development of flavor. Just like the chef was saying, when you dry your meat, you sear it, you develop the bun, you have some really well-developed stock, you put that on for your pan sauce, it reduces down, and you develop, you know, you guys all hear about development flavor, or layers of flavor. That's how you do that, with the bun, with the caramelization, and a well-built stock. So, you know, think about that. And when you have that cinch of urgency at the beginning, you give yourself the time to do that. Okay? But other than that, it was a pleasure, you know, watching you all work, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
First off, congratulations. I judged last year, and what Chef said was the level of quality, presentation, and flavor and taste definitely went up from last year. So great job on that. I tasted, I was one of the tasters for one of the final entrees, and I truly believe in feedback because it only helps you, makes you a better chef, makes you not make mistakes again when you do compete. And I expect all of you to compete again because competition is what makes you a better chef, so you can fix what you did wrong, make it better next time, and win that gold medal or whatever else you're going to compete for. So some things here, some of the vegetables came out, they were either really cooked well, or they're undercooked or overcooked. So make sure you learn what's a perfect vegetable and carry that throughout your career, because there were a lot of vegetables that were definitely undercooked out there. Crunchy, el dente was perfect, you know, the zucchini, you guys use a lot of yellow squash and stuff like that. Starches, a lot of people use couscous out there. If you do couscous and starches, or anything else that you cook, try to cook it in a little bit of vegetable stock to add the flavor, carry the flavor all the way through the starch, so that you don't have to add much to it when it comes to seasoning it and tasting it in the end, because there were some starches, some couscouses that just tasted like you put it in water, put it on the plate. Some did add some components of, you know, brunoise of peppers and onions and stuff like that. Add those things to a couscous. It only enhances it and makes it better. If you're gonna, some of you use canned, I guess it's a canned demi or something like that. It's okay sometimes to use canned demi sauces and sauces. You're gonna find those out in the industry. But don't just take it from the can to the hot water and put it on the plate. Use your professionalism and your knowledge and make it a better sauce. Add wine reduction, balsamic vinegar to it, other flavors, fresh herbs that are going to enhance it and not make it taste like a canned sauce that you tuck from the powder to the boiling water to the plate. A lot of items on the plates. There was a lot of really nice items, but some people or some of the chefs out here, they just added some things just to add them or they on your station. You know, if you stick to your menu, it's okay to garnish. Garnish you never put on your menu, right? So garnish your stuff that you put out there. Find things you can garnish and make it really nice. Some people just added things to add things and overwhelmed the plate, made it look a little sloppy. So make sure your lines are tight and all your dishes and all your proteins and your starches look really tight on your plate the next time you compete. Lack of sauce, there was either very little amount of sauce when I was eating proteins and starches, where I wanted more of that sauce, I just didn't have enough of it. And most sauces need to be strained. If you're gonna enhance it with shallots or whatever you enhance it with, make sure you strain that sauce, so when that judge tastes that sauce, it's nice and silky and smooth and it hits his tongue and there's no lumps in it. So strain your sauces before you put them on your plate. There were some greasy sauces as well. You know, if you're making a sauce, we're talking about making a stock from scratch, make sure you skim that sauce, make sure you skim that stock so that all that grease comes out. There were a few sauces out there that had a really greasy texture to them, good flavor, but a little greasy. And talking about seasoning, I tasted some places that really needed some seasoning, and of course, maybe during the first entrees and the salads and the soups, there was a lot of them. It's okay to use salt. Okay, salt and pepper, that's our universal seasoning, right? It enhances it, it makes it taste better, it brings all those flavors of everything out that you're utilizing, it brings the herbs, the garlics, and everything else that you're doing, gives them a better flavor and makes that sauce or that, whatever you're using that salt and pepper on, better. And it's okay to go into the refrigerator. If you have fresh herbs go with everything. Everything, couscous, starches, vegetables, steaks, proteins, and everything like that. It's okay to use fresh herbs. Cut those up nice, utilize those, and you'll score more points, and you can use it as a garnish. So think about that the next time you compete. Other than that, my expectation is that you all will compete again, Like I said, it's great. I compete all the time. I still compete as a chef. I love doing it, and it makes you a better chef. But congratulations to you all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Great job today. I'm probably the only person up here that actually saw everyone's plate, every single plate, and so great job. I didn't do any tasting or anything like that because I was busy moving stuff around. But you all came up, proud of the work that you put before us, and that's great. So one of the things I want to recommend that you do is go home and do your own self-evaluation. You will get to the point in your career where you won't have people giving you a self-evaluation or evaluation every day, so you need to know how to do your own. And really be honest with yourself. You know what you could have done better. You know where you took shortcuts and then maybe it didn't save you any time or it didn't save you the end product. So be honest with yourself. Sit down today. Make those notes. Nobody's going to give you a better self-assessment than yourself. Be honest with yourself. Use that, score that, and learn to become comfortable as you move through your career in doing that for yourself. Because you will get to the point where each time you put something on the plate, you have to believe that what you've done is the best that you can do. And keep working towards that. Okay? Great job, everyone. Hope to see you guys out here again someday.
All right, once again, awesome job today. You should guys be very proud. I wanted to just add a little bit to what Chef Reed said about garnishing. You guys have all heard the old adage, the garnish must be edible, right?
Yeah.
Take it another step. The garnish must be eatable. You should be able to take anything on your plate and eat it. So if you put the garnish on your plate, it should match the plate, it should go with the plate. You should be able to pick that garnish up and put it in your mouth and eat it. So think about that as you're garnishing plates. Is it eatable? And would someone want to eat it? And it really helps your plate if that happens. And I tell you, the plates today really did look good. There were some things that it looked like you overthought your plates a little bit, which is common in competitions. Bring it back to the fundamentals and show your skill. And that was fun to see today. There was really a lot of fun skills to see. So thank you very much. I think we're done. You guys look like you're done. Relax tonight. Go out and enjoy yourselves. You have earned it. Thank you. It's yours. I don't want it.
Nice job. Good job.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Good job.
Thanks. Good job. Thank you, Chef. Good work.
Thank you,
Josh, in front of you. Anybody bring us to work?